It's a tough subject at best and a little scary, so I thought maybe I'd try to loosen it up a little bit. Men and women are different, though. You know that, right? You know, people say that, and obviously there's differences, but in self-defense, we like to make fun of each other. The difference between men and women is that women have more imagination than men. They need it to tell men how wonderful they are. These are for you ladies. I hope you enjoy. Women have a number of faults. Men have two. Everything they say and everything they do. A successful man is one who makes more money than his wife can spend. A successful woman is one who can find such a man. Men wake up as good looking as they went to bed. Women somehow deteriorate during the night. Oh, that's dangerous. Sorry. When women are depressed, they either eat or go shopping. When men are depressed, they invade another country. Or maybe build a wall. I don't know. A man is a person who will pay $2 for a $1 item he wants. A woman, however, will pay $1 for a $2 item that she does not want. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Dogs are a man's best friend. Now you know which is the smarter sex. It's not true that men prefer foolish women. Rather, they prefer women who can pretend to be foolish whenever necessary, which is the very core of intelligence. That wasn't funny because that's so true. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women have a more subtle instinct. What they like is to be a man's last romance. It's getting too close to the truth? Sorry. So, to be happy with a man, a woman must understand him a lot and love him a little. To be happy with a woman, a man must love her a lot and not try to understand her at all. I'm going to prove that different tonight, which is disturbing, by the way. A woman marries a man expecting he will change, but he doesn't. A man marries a woman expecting that she won't change, and she does. Men marry because they are tired. Women marry because they are curious. Both are disappointed. A woman worries about the future until she gets a husband, while a husband never worries about the future until he gets a wife. These are too close to the truth, aren't they? A woman will always cherish the memory of the man who wanted to marry her. A man will always cherish the memory of a woman who he didn't. That was mean. Sorry. There are two times when a man doesn't understand a woman, before marriage and after marriage. Only two things are necessary for a man to do to keep his wife happy. One is to let her think she's having her own way, and the other is let her have her own way. That's it. Married men live longer than single men. Do you know that? It's true. Married men live longer than single men, but married men are a lot more willing to die. Any married man should forget his mistakes. It's no use two people remembering the same stuff. They say we are from different planets, but I think it's more like almost different galaxies. Though we have improved from caveman days, Ancient genetic hardwiring seems to trigger many of our modern-day gaffes. Allison Armstrong is the basis of a lot of what you'll hear tonight. If you ever get a chance, maybe you can get online and listen to some. She wrote a book, Making Sense of Men, A Woman's Guide to a Lifetime of Love, Care, and Attention from Men. And it's kind of the basis of a lot of I'll say tonight. Recently, we were studied, and most of you women will remember this, the mistakes that women make with men. And I made two errors. One, announcing a larger number of mistakes for women than men, 7 to 6. That's the big error. The second error is women are supposed to go first, and so tonight would actually be a more pleasant night. But it really is the man's turn. And I have to be really honest with you. Can I be real honest for a minute? I have not enjoyed this lesson at all. I don't know if I worked on a lesson I didn't like more than this one. I don't like this. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you straight up. I didn't like it because it hit me 6 times. Straight up. So if you listen and you pay real attention, you might actually learn some things that we could do a little better, and it might actually make a difference. Number 1. 6 mistakes men make with women. Number 1, disregarding a woman's differences. Now, you would think that a man of all people would know that she's different and never disregard it. But it says in 1 Peter 3:7, husbands likewise. Now, men do not treat women the same as women treat men. Likewise means they have the same responsibility to treat women fairly and kindly. That's what the husbands likewise in this text means. It does not mean treat them the same way that you treat men or women treat men. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that you have just as much responsibility to treat them fairly as you expect from them. That makes sense, doesn't it? I think so. Allison Armstrong says, men think of you as a lovely, scatterbrained, no, that's not the right word. Sorry, that was my Freudian slip there. Men, that's not what it says. Men think of you as a lovely, scattered, emotionally indulgent man. For the same reason women think of men as hairy, misbehaving women, we naturally self-referential. We assume another human being is like us, but that he or she is behaving strangely. Men recognize there's something mysterious about women. However, it makes them uneasy because they don't understand it. They're often surprised by women's behavior and hurt. The word they would use is crushed. Women are hardwired differently, which causes them to have seemingly scattered behavior. Men must understand women are not small men. So the first thing, and the reason I say this, because of counseling, I have sat across from many men who their first thought when they're having trouble with their wife is, she must be having an affair. Because you're reading into a woman what a man would do under that circumstance. And it's actually quite a rare event for that to actually happen. Quit reading into your woman that she's a man. She doesn't think the way you think and behave the way she thinks. She's not a small man. And aren't you glad? She's not a small man. It'd make you kind of weird. So a mistake that men make with women is disregarding a woman's differences. And immediately when we start trying to evaluate them, oh, I know what she's doing. And you probably don't. Secondly, despising a woman's disengagements. It says here, dwell with them with understanding. So I'm going to try to get you to think about understanding a woman in one of the things she does. men don't have the right to give understanding a woman a pass. Well, I just don't understand them, so I'm not going to try. That's just lazy, gentlemen. That's all that is. But more than that, you need to understand that you don't have to fully understand a woman to understand a woman. You're making a mistake if you think, well, I've got to fully understand a woman to understand a woman. That's not going to probably happen because you don't even fully understand the man sitting near you. Nobody fully understands anybody. But you can understand to the point when that you can actually get around this particular thing and not be confused by her. Okay? Allison Armstrong says, guys often think they've been punished when they're given the cold shoulder by their gals. Trying to point something out here. In reality, the silence means she is hurt and cannot speak. The best thing your beloved can do is reach out with compassion. The magic words, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. Okay? But this idea of getting mad because she goes quiet, gentlemen, is a mistake. Are you hearing me? Amen, guys? It's a mistake to get mad because she gets quiet. She gets quiet usually because you've already stepped all over her. Okay? Is it too close? Let me back off a little bit. So a mistake that men will make with women is they'll think her silence is she's striking back, but her silence is she's hurt and she doesn't know how to express it. And she's a little afraid she's going to get stepped on again. So a mistake that men will make with women is despising a woman's disengagements when they'll just back out of the conversation. They just back out of the conversation and go quiet. And it's not uncommon. It's pretty standard operating procedure. It's in the woman's manual. It's not in the man's. Number 3, dishonoring a woman's drive. Now, when I say that, immediately the men are going, oh, he's talking about sex. I just don't know what I'm talking about. In fact, I'm not talking about that subject at all tonight. So relax a little bit. It says in 1 Peter 3 and verse 7, husbands, likewise dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife. We do not want the same stuff. We do not want the same thing. Men should not demean or belittle or be bitter toward a woman for her differences as if she's odd. She's the odd woman out. No other woman would be like this. No, virtually any other woman married to you would be worse towards you than the one you've got because that one you got loves you. Okay? But she's not trying your patience. And that's what that's our default set. Well, is she just trying to aggravate me? Gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. My wife's not in there. So, is she just trying? She's just different, gentlemen. She is not trying to aggravate you. If she were a man and what she's doing, she would be trying to aggravate you. Well, he would be, rather, sorry. But since it's a woman, that's not what's going on. Quit thinking. Here's the deal. Her drive and your drive is different. Here's the basic way to think about it. You are basically programmed, gentlemen, to be a hunter, to go find stuff, to go get it and be done. You're done. You got it. She's basically not a hunter. She's a gatherer, which means she kind of looks around. Looks at this, looks at that. For you, that's aggravating. But it's a different type of thinking, a thought process. So a mistake that men make with women is dishonoring a woman's drive to be a gatherer. You're wanting her to flip over. You do not want her to flip over. You do not want her to suddenly become a hunter. You will be sorry. You want her to be a gatherer. And it will get on your nerves. And that's not going to change. But you can go around it. You don't have to dishonor her. Amen? You don't have to dishonor her. Next thing. It's discounting. And if you'll notice, all of these are negative, gentlemen. These are not like the woman's thing. These are all negative. It's a wonder that women have any self-esteem at all because of how negatively we tend to focus toward women. And I have not noticed that. But almost everything we do on this level that we're talking about tonight is negative and derogatory. It's demeaning. So discounting a woman's distresses is another way. It says, husbands likewise dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife, not getting all over her because she's different, as to the weaker vessel. Now, we tend to love that part of this passage. Here's where I want you to go with this. Men should seek to do what needs to be done. Trying to observe when their woman is overloaded. Now, women get overloaded. Here's why women get overloaded. They get overloaded because they are multitaskers. They can do, I don't know, that woman song. I can fry, whatever. And I don't even remember who sang that or what the words are. I'm a little afraid suddenly because y'all giggled. Anyway, you scared me. So, but I mean, they can have 100 different things going. But because they can do that, they sometimes don't say no. And they keep adding onto their list. And they can get overloaded. So what's your place in that? Not to get on to her. That's not your place. That's what we think our place is. You've taken on too much. You've done too much. What we need to do, gentlemen, is to not do this. Don't go and say, well, do you need any help? Please don't do that. Don't do that. You see the reaction? Don't do that. Don't ask if they need help. Help. Support them by stepping in and doing something that will help because they've overloaded themselves. Okay, you may be right. They've overloaded themselves. Big deal. They need something done now. You going to just fuss at them or are you going to help? Y'all see how much fun this lesson is, gentlemen, and how much I've enjoyed looking at this? Yeah, I can see how y'all loving this. God bless you. You get to deal with it all week now yourself. So, Allison Armstrong says, in a culture that celebrates women who can do it all, admitting you need help can feel like defeat. You may not ask for help even if you need it. It's talking about women now. We are supposed to be strong, independent, self-sufficient. The fix, the solution, he's offering to men. The solution is as simple as omitting the word help. If your man asks, is there something I can do? You're far more likely to embrace her offer. She will embrace your offer. Is there something I can do? So don't ask if she needs help. Step up when you see she's overloaded and say, is there something I can do if you can't see it? If you can see it, just start doing it. Or say, would you rather me do this or do that? So a mistake that men make with women is discounting a woman's distresses, acting as if, well, that's her problem. She's overloaded herself. She's in distress. Fine. That's not the attitude. That won't get you anywhere. It will not resolve anything for you. Okay, number 5. Disdaining a woman's discussions. Disdaining a woman's discussions. This is the hardest one for me. Okay? Okay? I'm going to be real honest here. Gentlemen, maybe you're great at this. God bless you. It says, as being heirs together of the grace of life. We're supposed to kind of be equals, right? Amen? Treat each other as equals. Men need to talk to their women, their wives, as equals, because we're fellow heirs of this blessed life together. But to do that, you've got to understand that she talks differently than you. When we talk, okay, we don't negotiate. We say what we think. With women, it's a total negotiation. I didn't know that. And I have seen, since I've got this, it's just like, And a lot of you women are looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. Listen to me now. Let me read what Armstrong says, Allison Armstrong. She says, as ancient hunters, men needed to conserve calories. Today, they save words, which explains their tendency not to verbalize what's obvious to them. You may suggest going to the movies on Friday night, but your guy may say no without any explanation. In his mind, the rationale is obvious. The theater will be too crowded, parking will be too hard, he's tired from a work week. But it's not obvious to you, and when your man doesn't offer information, it can send the wrong message. Women think things like, well, he never wants to do what we want to do. He never spends enough time with me. He's cheap. We make up all these other reasons when they don't tell us theirs. When you ask a woman friend if she can go to the movies and she can't, she'll make a counter offer. You listening, gentlemen? She will make a counter offer. This is natural female behavior. It is not natural male behavior. This is natural female behavior. We don't want, this is talking about women now, women do not want to hurt anyone's feelings. You wouldn't just say no. You would say something like, oh, thanks for asking, but I have to work. How about Friday night? So you make a negotiated offer. Men will be 100 times more successful with their women if they explain and offer a counter offer. Here's the deal, gentlemen. Women are negotiating everything. We take that as an affront to our decisions or our situation or who we are as a man, or we've made a decision and now you're changing it and you've changed it again. Now you're changing it again. And you don't understand that what she's doing is just as natural for her. What she's doing is offering a negotiated settlement on what she doesn't quite understand you said anyway. She's just trying to negotiate. That's the reason when you go, where are we going to go to eat today? Right? Well, what is it? Oh, I don't care. Wherever you want to go, honey. Okay, right? So then you say, well, let's go to Chick-fil-A. It's not open on Sunday, so I can get away with it. So let's go to Chick-fil-A. Oh, no, how about Hardee's? I'm naming all the big name companies. How about Hardee's? I heard they got something good. Okay. And you go, oh, okay, we'll go to Hardee's. And you go, Chick-fil-A's closed anyway. And so you're headed over to Hardee's. About halfway there, you know, I heard there's a real special on. So, okay, well, I would like to have known that 5 minutes ago because it's in the opposite direction. And so you turn around to get the deal. Here's the deal, though. That negotiation is the way she deals with women and men and everybody. She is in a negotiation. Now, you're going to take it as an affront, gentlemen. You're going to take it as she's arguing with you and keeping you from going where you want to go. You need to understand, she's just negotiating. She means nothing of the sort of what you think she means. She's just negotiating. You got it? You don't like it, do you? You don't like it at all. It's true. She's just negotiating. So negotiations and options are her whole life. Why? Because she's got, I don't know, like 16 kids, and she's got to make everybody get to wherever they're going, and everybody's got to be happy. She's got to get you happy. She's got to get this other person happy. She's got 15 PTAs she's got to go to, and she's trying to keep everybody happy, so she's constantly changing where the bar is. Now, for you who are goal-oriented, that's nothing but why did you move the goalpost, right? So you've got to just now understand, she's just negotiating with you. She's not arguing with you. Hello? She's negotiating. She's not arguing. So a mistake that men make with women is disdaining a woman's discussions. And then, next, is dismissing a woman's distractions. Now, it goes on to say here that your prayers may not be hindered. Gentlemen, we need to pray with our women. You need to get along with them and discuss stuff clearly, and you need to pray with them. But when you pray with your woman, listen to me, what you got to do. Reach over and grab her hand. Amen? Now, why is that so important? Because of the way women are, okay? They got 11 things on their mind. Okay? They really do. They really do. They're running all over the place in their head. Right now, some of them are doing something else. They're not even in the room with us right now. Okay? Allison Armstrong puts it this way. Women frequently juggle many things. When you're with your girlfriends, they get it. But your man may interpret it very differently. If you answer the phone or turn off boiling water in the middle of an important conversation with your man, he thinks you're not listening. Okay? But we're not doing that. The women aren't doing that. We're not choosing anything. We're reacting to something that's louder in our environment. The water's boiling. It's the loudest thing right now. What you're saying is loud, but it's not as loud as the water boiling that's going to boil over on the eye if I don't reach over there and cut it off. That's where she's going. We're reacting to something that's louder in our environment. So how can a man get a woman's full attention? This is it. You want to get her full attention, gentlemen, so that you don't get frustrated by that. Reach over and grab her hand. By simply touching a woman, you are the loudest voice in the room. That's why you need to hold her hand even when you're praying, just so that she won't be thinking about 11 other things while you're even in the middle of prayer. So when you want to have a serious conversation with a woman in the middle of all the stuff going on, you would be better served by actually reaching over and touching her somewhere on her arm or her hand or her back and saying, okay, honey. And then when you have said what you need to say, you let go, and then 11 things pop out again. It's pretty standard. Her full attention is only a touch away. If you're frustrated because you can't get her attention, it's because you don't understand this little simple concept. Reach over and touch her, you've got her full attention. At least for 30 seconds. You've got it. Okay? You've got it. A mistake that men make with women is dismissing a woman's distractions. It is because of the way they think. They think about a lot of things at once. We can't do that. We can do a few things in a pinch, but we don't generally do a bunch of things at the same time. We generally do one or two things, or we're one box, and then we're in the next box, and then we're in the next box. And we know the next box is coming, but we're in this one right now, and that's the way we kind of think. Women are got like 15 boxes open, and everything's different. And it just doesn't work. But you don't dismiss that. Learn how to take advantage of it and reach over and say, hey, honey, how about we go to parties for lunch, By touching her even, you're more likely to get agreement even with her because you got her full attention. So, yes, we're different. We're very different. And we really, in many ways, we have done ourselves a disservice, gentlemen, because we treat them badly because they don't think like us. Is that not true? We expect them to think like us, and as a result, we get upset and we get fractious because they will never think like you, and they should not. Amen? Rejoice in what a woman is. Be thankful she's different. It is a good thing. If you give a doll to a boy and a girl, here's what's going to happen. The girl little girl will cuddle it, while the boy is more likely to take it and use it as a projectile. If you give 2 dolls to the girl and you give 2 dolls to the boy, the 2 dolls of the girl will be sitting there, well, let's have tea. And they'll be talking to each other. They'll immediately start talking to each other. If it's boys, it's there you go to war. Right? They'll go to war. The average times per month a woman cries, according to Good Housekeeping back in 1997, this is old, so it may be more now, is 5. That's average times per month a woman will cry, a pretty good cry, 5 times a month. The average time per month a man cries is 1. He may cry, really have a cry about something he's really upset about, maybe once a month. That means they're 5 times more emotional than you are, likely. That may be an overstatement of the meaning of that. In a Harvard study of several hundred preschoolers, researchers discovered something quite interesting. They went out to playgrounds and they started videotaping and taping playgrounds. And I think this is interesting. So they were videotaping all these playgrounds where little kids play, right? What they discovered is that all the sounds coming from the little girls' mouths were words. But only 60% of the sounds coming from little boys' mouth were even recognizable. The other 40% were yells like "Baroom!" "Arg!" and "Toot toot!" Just making noises. That doesn't change. It persists through childhood and then into adulthood. Communication experts say that the average woman will speak about 25,000 words in a day. The average man will speak about 10,000. An average wife will say, if asked the question, about how much time a week would be good enough to have enough conversation with your husband that you would feel close to him and know everything you need to know. And the average woman will say, about 45 minutes. If I could get 45 minutes with him, we could stay in touch. The average man will say 15 to 20 minutes is plenty. There is a difference and a disconnect on this subject. It doesn't mean the other one's bad, my friend. It means we're different. So, okay, we're different. So stop expecting the same. The biggest fault that I find within myself and within most men that I've counseled is we expect women to be like us in thinking, and as a result, we stay aggravated. And no wonder women have trouble with their sense of self-esteem. Gentlemen, we've got to do better, amen? And not be quick to get upset. There's hope, though. We can get closer. We may look like we're from different planets, but we can get closer. Here's how you do it. You want to learn how to get closer? Other than following some of these rules and stop doing this stuff, every one of these things we do wrong. Every one of them, and not some of us do them wrong, every one of us do them wrong. We have got to work at it. We could do better, amen? We could do better. But you want to know how to really get close to your mate? Get closer to God and encourage them to get closer to God. If we both got closer to God, we'd end up closer to each other, don't you think? You get close to the same thing, you're both equally close to each other. You know, men and women are different. There's a lot of differences in this world, men and women. A lot of times we think are different. But then we'll try to say that old and young people are different. And I suppose there are differences, but I don't know if they're as serious as we tend to make with that. We'll say rich and poor people are different. I suppose they're different, but maybe not as different as we think. We try to make out that there's a huge difference between black and white people in America, and I just don't believe it exists. Then we try to say that there's a huge difference between Republicans and Democrats. And I talk to one and I talk to the other. They sure sound like the same person to me. And then Knowles and Gators. No, they're really different. They're very different. But the immature and the mature, we try to draw these lines and we try to segregate, and it's almost like we like the difference in the sense of that we don't want to understand. And now I'm charging men. I believe that's our case. I believe we like the difference, we like not understanding, and we're basically lazy about it. We are hunters, and it's too hard to figure this one out. And so we refuse to try, and we think that the woman has got to adapt to us. And she will, but you will not have the relationship you could have if you would just try to recognize she's just different and appreciate the difference and get to know it and understand it at a deeper level. So from here on out, maybe read 1 Peter 5 and verse 7 a little closer. She's the weaker vessel, but not in the way you've seen her. She's the weaker vessel in that she gets maybe overloaded, and she could use your assistance. So I would encourage you to do that, to assist your wife, the one that you love, in ways, and then quit trying to argue with her and understand she's not arguing, she's negotiating a settlement. You hearing me, guys? It'll make a difference in the way you treat. I've gone too long. If you're here tonight and you haven't obeyed the gospel, we want to give you that opportunity to obey the gospel. I went long so that this wouldn't fit on the tape and be on the internet, and I could get off of that. But if you're here tonight and you'd like to obey the gospel, I want to give you that opportunity, and we want to help you do that right now as we stand and as we sing.